Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Maryville University Hockey Center here in Chesterfield, Missouri. I'm Todd Panula, and I'll be bringing you all of tonight's exciting ACHA action between the Maryville Saints and the McKenree Bearcats. It's a number 3 versus number 5 matchup as the rankings were just swapped up a little bit. Maryville pole vaulted over the Bearcats. The Saints are now number 3 in the country. The Bearcats fall to number 5. Maryville comes in at 14-7 overall. McKenree is 13-7-1. And these two teams pretty much mirror images of each other all season long as they have been neck and neck throughout this entire season. Maryville comes in the hotter of the two teams as they are 10-1 in their last 11. Whereas McKenree is 5-4-1, so they've had a little bit of a slip up over the last few games. But they will try to right the ship here against the Maryville Saints. Your starting lineup for Maryville on the forward line: Brooklyn Gillings, Mackenzie Villard, and Haley Beckett. Smolinski and Gerwitz on defense, and Kelsey Dell in between the pipes. It is Rachel Stersinik in between the pipes for the McKenree Bearcats, as she is tested in the early going. Didn't have to make a save, but Maryville nevertheless threatening on the goal. 30 seconds into the first period here. Maryville working the puck around the perimeter in the offensive zone. Gerwitz spun it around, centering feed. They almost connected with Villard. Gerwitz with a slap shot, and Stersinik made the save to kick it out of the crease. Lofted into the zone by Lacroix. She tries to chase it down. Smolinski slaps it over here to the near side. Beckett has the puck. We get a whistle. The door to the McKenree bench was open, but it's the Maryville training squad that comes out as there is an injury along the end wall. There's 55 seconds in, so that's not the start that either of these two teams wanted, especially from the McKenree side. Obviously, they're very concerned for their teammate. And when you haven't even played a full minute in the game, it just kind of sucks the air out of the building. So focusing right now on what's happened in the past between these two teams. High-scoring affairs in the last few games. So coming into this season, Maryville had done a very good job of playing against McKenree. They were 6-2 against the Bearcats coming into the season, but McKenree won both games back in October, and defense was hard to come by in those games, as it was a combined score of 11-8 in favor of McKenree. So the Bearcats got things rolling on the offensive end. They scored 6 right here at the Maryville University Hockey Center on that Friday back in October. And then it was a 5-4 decision in the other one. So a 6-4 win and a 5-4 win for the Bearcats at home. Still haven't been able to get a good look as to who the player is down for McKenree. They do have her up on her skates, though, so that's good to see. A little bit dazed, but mostly skating under her own power, so those are always scary moments anytime anything happens near the boards at all, especially the end wall. It's a little more solid down there, especially kind of around where the corners happen. Just not a whole lot of movement there. Unfortunately, that is the captain, Jane Lacroix. So good to see that she was able to kind of go off under her own power, but we'll try to keep an eye out see if she's able to return. But the injury bug biting both of these teams now as Lacqua gone for the foreseeable future in terms of this game. Maryville without a couple of their top players as well as Nia Morris and Aaliyah Sutton are not dressed here tonight and likely not dressed at all this weekend. So the hope as of right now is that those are reasonably short-term injury timelines for Sutton and Morris, but it's kind of up to the body how it reacts in terms of healing and everything. And if nothing else, they should be back in time for a postseason run, whether that's in the conference tournament or the national tournament. But the players on both sides try to refocus here. 18:05 left to go in the first period. Pitchforked into the zone by Barndon. Saints get there first. O'Leary along the near side boards, trying to get it off the wall and out from her skates as well. Jeffers digs in for the Bearcats. Topper was there as well. Offside is the call. 17:46 left to go here in the opening frame. So both teams kind of faced with a difficult mental task. I think they were razor focused. They came out with some good energy. All of a sudden, you have a player down for an extended period of time, and even if it's an opponent, the Maryville players are going to be concerned for somebody who's down on the ice for that period of time, because you know that if it's more than a handful of seconds, that it's not going to be something that they're feigning. It's not going to be something that is easily shrugged off, and they're just back out there the next shift. So human nature tends to take over in those situations. And now it's all about pushing the reset button. 3 minutes in here, long shot from Gerwitz from the right point was turned aside by Sturcenika's stick. Challenge anybody to say that 3 times fast. Gillings will catch up to it in the corner, but overskates as the puck snuck underneath her stick. Gerwitz pinches up from the point. Bearcats try to chip it out. Villard keeps it in. In behind the net, just slips away from Beckett. Villard was crashing to the front of the net, but Gillings couldn't find her as she had a defender right in her back pocket. 2 Bearcats right around Gillings as she's trying to keep it along the boards, waiting for some help. 4-player scrum just north of the corner boards. Referee can see it enough, apparently, to not blow it dead. He's calling out instructions. It falls loose to the point. Smolinski with a shot. Rainbow's in on goal, and a blocker save is made. From the corner, Villard sealed off by 2 defenders, but here's Haley Beckett to the backhand. She tries, and it's a right pad save. The rebound just wouldn't fall for Gillings. A reverse pass over here to the near wing. DeFoss was trying to slip it up the wall. Instead, it goes back for Ashley Haley. She tries to escape on the far side. Braun with the interception. Centering pass blocked. Bearcats slide it off the near boards again. Still not enough to get it out. Bearcats trying to get it out of their own zone. Deflected apparently off the skate of Gerwitz, so no icing. Fresh legs now for McKenree as they intercept the outlet feed. On the stick of Splinter. She sends it to the blue line. Lost it for a moment. In is Brennan. Joined by Braun. Bearcats push it over here to the near side. Bjornsson sends it back in behind the net. Bearcats looking north, and hitting the brakes was Cloutier. Cloutier sends it to the right wing. Peeling back is Splinter. Cloutier drops it to the defense. Up the near boards. Cam beats. Kicked at. Cloutier gets the red line. Taken out by Toole. from the right circle. Centering feed wasn't available. Falardo sends it over to the far boards. Maryville able to scoop it off the wall. Now it hits a skate. Bearcats have it. Dropping it off. Topfer's shot was blocked. Karunakar getting a piece of that one. Karunakar sends it far wing. Emily Toole is there. Lofts it up towards the blue line, but no further. Second opportunity. Can't get it any further. Struther has to drop it back to Falardo. Too strong for Toole. Toole takes it off the wall and says thank you very much. Toole up to the blue line, spinning and firing it in. But the Bearcats were able to intercept. Hansen leaves it. Brennan flips it in. Chasing it down is Uhrig. Uhrig up the boards for Binning on the right wing. Lofted up into the air over the head of the defenseman. Arm is up. If it crosses all the lines, it should be icing. No, they wave it off at the last moment. Here's an interception. Wraparound attempt. Pad save was made initially by Dell on the wraparound chance. They haven't put the shot on the board. Windross was able to deny the deep entry. Bearcats play it on around. Ross leaves it go. Windross tried to slip it into the attacking zone, and it just slid away from her. DeFoss has to circle back. Near side, Essex tried to send it in. Villard gains center ice to the left wing. Pushes it off the wall. Villard chases it down. Gerwitz trying to seal off the wall. Bearcats get to the red line. And they will head off on the line change. Coming in all by herself is Claire Essex. Rink wide feed. Does get through. Here's Gilling. She's in one-on-one with the defender. Takes a shot from the slot. And it's another blocker save. Cloutier trying to escape up the right wing. Ran into three Maryville players. Here's Brooklyn Gillings. Scoops it towards the corner, but out of the reach of Beckett. Brown pushes far side. Back out to center. Here come the Saints on the counterattack, but Beckett was thwarted by a poke check. Cross ice feed and then a dump in by Barron as the Bearcats changing it up again. Tupfer got it as it's filtered on around. Now here's Windross lofting it in. Beckett briefly thought she might have been offside. Now she'll head off to complete a line change. Cambeats was the intended target. That was knocked down. Tupfer looking for another option. Nice move through the middle, and now that's going to spring a breakaway. Here comes Cambeats. She's into the forehand. Glove save by Dell. The puck's still loose. They're trying to loft it off to the pro goaltender, and the puck is frozen. Dell with a huge save, and she's able to find the loose change. 11:15 left to go here in the first period. Both teams creating some breakout opportunities, but the goaltenders have stood tall thus far. With all the home games that the Saints have been playing of late, and then the cancellations due to weather last weekend. This is our first opportunity on the Maryville Saints Hockey Network to see Kelsey Dell in live action. Coming up huge for her team just moments ago. Up the near side, Gorgevska Sharp tried to break in, and a left pad save made on the chance from Hassenfratz. A secondary chance, rebound, they put it off the post, and then it is, the whistle goes, and the referee points it is in. Referee having a discussion. As of right now, it will be a goal for McKenree. I believe it was Gorgevska Sharp to last put it in. I would think maybe the only call you could potentially make would be goaltender interference. I was trying to follow the puck, so it was hard to see how many players were in line, but they will count it. So the Bearcats are up 1-0. So McKenree gets the goal off the rebound at 9:17. Referee's having a discussion with Tommy Lang over by the Maryville bench. Swallowed some air, apparently. So 1-0 McKenree. Coach Lang pleading his case. And these are always those situations, and even I as a fan often wonder, well, what is the coach going on about? You're never going to get them to reverse the decision in the moment. But to their credit, more often than not, it's trying to get something in the referee's mind for the next time that a potential call might happen. And they it's not necessarily manipulative, but it is just kind of putting that seed in the back of their head saying, like, hey, I disagree with it. Here's how I saw it. The next time there's maybe a 50-50 call, perhaps it goes 51% in that coach's favor. It doesn't always work that way, but that's usually the thought process behind it. Nevertheless, Bearcats are up by a goal. We'll see if the Saints can find an answer. A bouncing puck through center ice. Back over the M at the middle of the rink. Incoming is Barndon. Passes off of Smolinski's skates. They don't play for the same team. Maryville swats it into the attacking zone, but not on the right side of the red line, so icing is the call with 10:13 to go in the first period. Off the face-off, Bearcats wrap it on around here to the near wing. Erwitz gets to it first, but there's two McKenree players in her way, but out comes Braun. She lofts it in, heads on a change. Cloutier is back for the Bearcats. Collects, gets the return feed off the wall. Past the skates of Gerwitz and onto the red line. Beckett is back in her own zone. Charging in on the forecheck is Imperato. Slap shot from Brown got all the way through and wasn't deflected by its intended target. Gillings lofts it onto center ice. Beckett gets a piece, but so did Cambeets. Smolinski couldn't thwart the pass, but the fluttering puck didn't connect with Cambeets. In the corner, Splinter to Topfer. Her shot is blocked. Out of midair, it was knocked down by Imperato. Gerwitz flips it up the wall. Smolinski couldn't find the handle. Fluttering puck back towards the corner boards. Second chance now for Gerwitz. Slams it off the wall. No icing here. Off the window. Close to too many players there. Some of the fans were calling for it. They're not going to get that call, though. Off the toe now of Haley Beckett. She taps it through the middle. She's going to catch up to it herself. And then taken down. The Saints will go to the power play. So McKenree is up by a goal. Saints power play has a chance to even things up. Last time these two teams played in this rink, McKenree was 1 for 2 on the power play. Maryville was 0 for 5, hoping to change that up here tonight. Saints have it at the point. Beckett couldn't find a good passing lane. She just flings it down low. It was stripped off the stick, and now the Bearcats will clear it all the way down. 20 seconds and counting off the clock now for the Maryville power play. Got to go the full length of the rink. Here comes Haley Beckett on the stick and then poke checked away. So far in the early going, Beckett not looking quite as comfortable without her usual line mates, and I don't say that in terms of being an indication of the players she's with, as Dell makes a shorthanded save. Maryville looking very disjointed on this power play. And that also is an indication of the top power play unit normally features Sutton and Morris. So just not a whole lot of cohesion thus far. Still 60 seconds left to try to change their fortune. Here comes Brennan over the red line, past the blue, from the near circle, drags into the corner, plays it off the end wall and the backside of the goal. Return feed from Ross, gives it up to Windross. Outside hash marks, takes it towards the dot. Pass was knocked down. Ross was tripped up, but of her own accord as she stepped on the stick. Stretch pass from Karunakar into O'Leary, but the Saints are offside. They touch up, back at center ice, it's Windross. Hands it off, Karunakar gives it back. Instead, it's off the wall for Ross. She's tied up by Cloutier. Saints barely get it past the skates of the linesman. 13 seconds left in the power play. Right now it's looking like that's going to go by the wayside. Bearcats tie it up, and now the Saints need to watch. They could spring a potential breakout. Timing didn't quite work out. Gorgievska Sharp is out of the box. No harm, no foul. Still 1-0 McKenree. Beckett was run into, close to an interference call, but the puck was close enough that no penalty will be handed out. Dell is back, leaves it right along the goal line for her teammate, and good thing we're not playing by NHL rules, as that would be delay of game. And no such luck here for McKenree, as it will stay 5-on-5 with the puck just going out of play. 6:15 to go here in the first. Shot 6-4 in favor of the Bearcats. They also lead on the scoreboard. Somebody's now without a twig. That's Jeffers. She gets her loose stick. Villard plays it up. Beckett just way out of the reach of Gillings there. So Maryville in need of something here in the early going. They looked all right, probably in the first 5 minutes or so, give or take. But after that, it's been mainly trying to defend, and McKenree threatening. As they get another shot from a tight angle, Dell made the save. 6 saves on the night for Kelsey Dell. Puck loose right around the blue line as it was bandied back and forth. Hansen dumps it in. Bearcats take control. Boards to boards. It goes up the wall for Barnden. Possession traded back and forth within the neutral zone. Again, close to too many players on the ice. Hansen has it, loses it. Back the other way. Potential tripping call, and that will be handed out. Gorgievska Sharp drops it off. 6 players out now for McKenree. They get the shot through. Dell makes the save. Referee finally blows the whistle. And we will get a stoppage with 4:55 left to go here in the first. McKenree heading to the power play. Essex, I can't seem to say her name for the life of me. Shoemaker has the puck now. Jeffers up to the hash marks, and Barron completes the quintet for the power play. And a pass back towards the point went awry. They will have to chase it down. 20 seconds gone in the McKenree power play. The penalty kill did a good job. We'll see how the man advantage does. They set up from the far side hash marks. Shoemaker to Jeffers. Down to the goal line. Almost out of the reach. Jeffers again. Shoemaker. Out of the reach of Barnden. She tried to send it back to the blue line, and both zone exits had actually been because of poor passes from the Bearcats. They regroup with 65 seconds remaining in the power play. Stretch pass finds its target on the far side as Hassenfratz gets to the half wall and drops it to Gorgevska Sharp. Another pass across the ice was off the stick of Toole and down. Imperato goes skate to stick, gets the return feed, and crosses center ice. Over to the right wing, surrounded by all the defenders, trying to drag them with her to create some space. Tupfer plays catch with Gorgevska Sharp. She steps around one and then passes out of the reach of Tupfer. Binning to Gorgevska Sharp. The puck rolled on her. She regathers. Repays the favor to Binning. Binning to Tupfer. Gorgevska Sharp. 15 seconds left in the power play. Slap shot goes wide and rings off the end wall. Binning drops it. Deflected shot. Dell made the save. Gerwitz is on the puck, trying to avoid the long reach. Slides it off the end wall, trying to chase it down herself. Got the puck out. It took a deflection on the way through, but still off a Maryville player, so that'll be icing. Saints are unable to change. 2:48 left to go here in the first period. Saints do kill off the penalty, but now they need a big face-off win and a zone exit to get some fresh bodies out there. Lofted puck goes all the way down. We'll have another icing. So most of you listening don't have the pleasure of watching or listening to Blues broadcasts, St. Louis Blues that is. But this reminds me of something that just happened a few days ago. The broadcasters said sometimes taking that second icing isn't too bad because you get a little extra breather. Well, the Stars ended up winning the face-off and scoring. So hopefully the Bearcats don't end up doing that here. From the Maryville perspective, of course, we do appreciate any Bearcats fans that are listening here this evening. Your team is currently up 1-0 on a nice second effort goal. Beckett comes in on her off wing, dances around one, trying to get a centering feed. She scoops, she scores! Haley Beckett, the one-woman wrecking crew, takes it on the toe and scoops it in. 1-1 is your score with 2:22 remaining in the first. $17:48, the time of the goal. Saints have evened things up. Karunikar taken hard to the wall as she made the play to get it up to the blue line. Bearcats send it the other way. 2:10 now left in the period. Essex finds the giveaway. Drops it off for Barnden. Back to Essex along the near circle. She spun one towards goal, but wide. Cloutier looking for Jeffers. Couldn't pitchfork it backward, and then she was smushed up against the wall by Smolinski. Karunikar tried to stretch it out. This is going to be icing. It was close to being able to be played by Cloutier, but the linesman giving her the benefit of the doubt, so it'll be an icing call. Third in about, I'd say, 90 seconds against Maryville. So the Saints have to win another important face-off to avoid an offensive chance for the Bearcats. over the blue line and out into the neutral zone. Cloutier, stick handling in behind her own net. Beckett almost bumped her off the puck, but she got a good pass to reverse it back to the far side and Brown. Foot race won by Gorgievska Sharp, avoiding an icing call. Karunikar takes her to the boards. Hands it over. Hassenfratz had her pocket picked. Centering feed, score! Gorgievska Sharp gets another one as they find the feed from the back of the net, back in front. And speaking of back in front, that is what the Bearcats are. It's 2-1 with 1:17 to go. And not quite a minute after Beckett's goal tied things up, McKenree is back in front. Gerwitz tried to fire it in, but it was knocked down. DeFoss slips it up the near side. Bearcats haven't got it up yet. Windross trying to chase it down. 1 minute left in the period. Somebody's going to the power play. It's going to be against Emma Gerwitz. McKenree already up 2-1. Now with an important late period power play chance. Even if they don't score, they'll have 60 seconds of fresh ice to try in the second period. So Gorgievska Sharp is on hat-trick watch. She's got both goals. And she's out on this power play. Bearcats win it, set up from the half wall as it's drugged by Hassenfratz into the corner. Try to spin pass, barely got all the way to Tupfer. Gorgievska Sharp sets up far point. Long shot, deflected through but wide. Spinning, got it in behind the net. Smolinski will clear. 38 seconds left. First period. It's been a back and forth game. You would expect no less, as even though both games have been high scoring, it's not as though one team really ran away with it in any of the games. Bouncing pass goes to Tupfer, far point. Gorgievska Sharp, stick handles around one, gets the wrister away. Hassenfratz got a stick to it, close to a high stick. Would have been interesting to see if that had counted. Doesn't matter, as the Saints clear, and the first period is in the books. McKenree scored first. Beckett answered. McKenree retakes the lead after 20 minutes of play. Keep it right here on the Maryville Saints Hockey Network. We'll be back in just a little bit with your second period of action.
Comes a time where it's going to get harder and more difficult, but to never lose that focus of enjoying the game is so important. Leon Draisaitl from Cologne, Germany, Edmonton Oilers. For me, it started early. My dad played, so it ran in the family a little bit, and always wanted to play in the NHL. I'm an offensive guy that likes to generate and create chances and take big pride in the defensive side of things as well. I've got nothing but great things to say about Warrior, and huge fan of the consistency year after year. For me personally, bring out the best product, and it's so simple and easy to work with Warrior. And on top of that, the service is incredible. Always things to learn, always things to grow, always the parts of the game to get better at, but all in all, you have to be a Warrior.
college hockey. It's more than just what school you play for. More than just another sweater you pull on. It's about focus, determination, strategy, and poise. It's more than just packed rinks and screaming fans. It's about heart, skill, and passion. In nearly 30 years of the ACHA, we don't just play the game of hockey. We are the game of hockey. Hundreds of elite players and coaches from some of the United States and Canada's most prestigious programs. The American Collegiate Hockey Association. More than just a game.
Hello everyone, I hope you've had a great summer. As the school year gets started across the country, we're excited to also welcome you back to another great season of hockey. Thanks for being a part of the USA Hockey family. I want you to know that our volunteers and our staff work every single day as hard as they can to make sure hockey is the best sports experience in every community in our country. Within USA Hockey, you're part of an organization that's a world leader in development, safety, fun, and success, and one that is committed to fostering a welcoming environment for all by building a diverse, equitable, and inclusive game. Hockey is played in thousands of communities across our entire country. Please join me in keeping the momentum going by inviting at least one new person to get involved with hockey this year. It doesn't matter if it's someone who wants to play, coach, officiate, volunteer, or just be a fan. We're excited about sharing the joy our sport brings with as many people as possible. I would also like to offer a friendly reminder to make sure that respect is top of mind every time you enter the rink or take to the ice for a game or practice this season. That includes making sure that we never use hateful or discriminatory language, as it has absolutely no place in our game or in our society. It's on all of us to make sure that we respect the game, including playing within the rules, treating officials with respect, giving our best, and being a good teammate. In the end, hockey is about fun, so let's make sure we never lose sight of that. Here's to a great season ahead, one filled with friendship, respect, success, and most of all, plenty of smiles.
Welcome to Maryville University,
Welcome to Saints Nation.
home of the Big Red M.
So what does it mean to be a Maryville Saint?
It's more than just going to classes.
As Saints, we are passionate about what we believe in.
We are open-minded and curious about other points of view.
And we know this about life at Maryville.
Your best experiences will happen when you get involved.
Make sure to get involved on campus.
We work hard.
But we have a lot of fun too.
We have a passion to see each other succeed.
You might have a few hiccups along the way.
Or maybe something more serious. When we run into adversity,
We have faculty and staff here to provide support.
We stand with our fellow Saints through the good times.
And the difficult times.
So be sure to seek out help when you need it.
we know that here at Maryville,
We are never alone.
The spirit of Maryville flows through each person that steps foot on our campus.
Being a Saint is that feeling that Maryville University is your community.
That even when you're far away from home,
You are home.
We're on this journey together.
We are Maryville University.
One team, one family.
time for the Maryville Saints Intermission Report. Let's get ready for the second period.
There comes a time where it's going to get harder and more difficult, but to never lose that focus of enjoying the game is so important. Leon Draisaitl from Cologne, Germany, Edmonton Oilers. For me, it started early. My dad played, so it ran in the family a little bit, and always wanted to play in the NHL. I'm an offensive guy that likes to generate and create chances and take big pride in the defensive side of things as well. I've got nothing but great things to say about Warrior, and a huge fan of the consistency year after year for me personally, bring out the best product, and it's so simple and easy to work with Warrior, and on top of that the service is incredible. Always things to learn, always things to grow, always the parts of the game to get better at, but all in all, you have to be a Warrior.
College hockey. It's more than just what school you play for. More than just another sweater you pull on. It's about focus, determination, strategy, and poise. It's more than just packed rinks and screaming fans. It's about heart, skill, and passion. In nearly 30 years of the ACHA, we don't just play the game of hockey. We are the game of hockey. Hundreds of elite players and coaches from some of the United States and Canada's most prestigious programs. The American Collegiate Hockey Association. More than just a game.
Hello everyone, I hope you've had a great summer. As the school year gets started across the country, we're excited to also welcome you back to another great season of hockey. Thanks for being a part of the USA Hockey family. I want you to know that our volunteers and our staff work every single day as hard as they can to make sure hockey is the best sports experience in every community in our country. Within USA Hockey, you're part of an organization that's a world leader in development, safety, fun, and success, and one that is committed to fostering a welcoming environment for all by building a diverse, equitable, and inclusive game. Hockey is played in thousands of communities across our entire country. Please join me in keeping the momentum going by inviting at least one new person to get involved with hockey this year. It doesn't matter if it's someone who wants to play, coach, officiate, volunteer, or just be a fan. We're excited about it.
Welcome back to the Maryville University Hockey Center. As we get set for second period action between the McKenree Bearcats and your Maryville Saints. 2-1, McKenree on top of Maryville after the first period. Shots were 9-5 in favor of the Bearcats. They outscored Maryville 2-1. Norgetska Sharp, both goals. Bearcats on the power play. 60 seconds left in the slashing call against Emma Gerwitz. Saints put out a penalty kill of Putnam, Karunikar, Brennan, I believe, and Gillings. Jeffers has the puck at her own blue line, tape to tape from D to D. As the Bearcats play catch right around their own blue line. Entering in on the near wing is Barnden. Backdoor feed, score! Saints lost track of Kirsten Barron. She gets the power play goal, and it is 3-1 in favor of McKenree. Just 19 seconds in, power play goal for the Bearcats has given them a 2-goal lead. Saints come right back in. Beckett to Chilling. She hits the goaltender in the mask. Rebound, score! Mackenzie Villard cuts into the lead. 28 seconds into the second goal of the period. And Maryville's back in it. 3-2 is your score. So strap yourselves in, fans. This is pretty similar to what we've seen between these two teams. They score goals in bunches. When they played here back in October, there were 3 goals scored in 2 minutes and 50 seconds in the first period. Penalty coming up. High sticking is going to be the call. And Maryville was in the attacking zone, but they're about to be shorthanded. So you can't do this too much if you're Maryville. They killed off the first power play, unsuccessful on the second one. Haley Beckett is in the sin bin now, putting the Saints penalty kill back out there. And the problem with these scenarios, regardless of which team it is for, if you're playing a continual special teams game, whether it's penalty kill or power play, you're really kind of disrupting the flow for your overall lineup because you have different lines out there that are playing different combinations, trying to get used to different spots on the ice and different responsibilities. And then when you go back to 5-on-5, then you have to try to reestablish a flow there. Right now, the Bearcats are looking pretty solid on the power play as they go from D to left wing. Barnden trying to keep it away from Gerwitz. You could definitely notice her absence on the penalty kill last time out. They don't come up with the puck, and a cross-ice pass finds Barron. Back to Jeffers at the right point. Barron from the circle. Cross-ice feed, too strong for Barnden. In behind the net, the Bearcats get it out towards the point. Near circle. Apparently there's been a draft pick made as they play the ESPN do-do-do. Just kidding. Glove save made by Dell on the short side chance. Jeffers with the shot. I suppose that draft pick sound is slightly different than that. That's actually the Sports Center ESPN sound. With my luck, everybody watching at home probably didn't even hear what I'm talking about, so I just sound like a typical fool just talking about things that nobody even knows. Maybe it's in my head. Cross-ice pass finds nobody. Gordievska Sharp goes to straightaway point. Tupfert tries to find a player down low. It was tapped away from Imperato. Imperato gets it back from behind the cage. Leaves it towards the far side, and where's the puck? Some hands went up in the air. The goaltender apparently has it. Kelsey Dell breathing a sigh of relief. One thing that McKenree has done incredibly well has gone east to west. A lot of times you hear that is exactly what you don't want teams to try to do, but the passes have been there for the Bearcats, and they have really had Kelsey Dell's head on a swivel all game long. She's found it rather difficult to keep track of the puck sometimes, but she managed to keep it underneath her on that short side chance. There's a stick loose in the corner. Putnam has it. There's a stick knocked way up into the air. Saints are going to clear. 5 seconds left until Beckett can come out. 7:15 to go in the period. Barron fans on the pass, but the Bearcats still get it into the zone. Shot from the far circle is denied with a right pad. Saints trying to find an exit. Here's Beckett taking on Cloutier. Beckett ridden in towards the corner, used her strength to keep control. Villard wanted to go back to the point. Couldn't get the pass away. Painter comes up through the middle. Avoids the poke check. Second opportunity. The Saints get control of the puck. Defender went down. Here's Jilling. She comes in. It could have been a 2-on-1, and she fanned on the pass. The puck just slid away. Splinter drops it back. On defense, it's Brown. Sends it up the far side. Saints disrupt it through the middle. Poke checked away from Beckett. Here comes Cam Beats. Gerwitz got a piece of it to knock it loose. Swatted into the zone by Brooklyn Painter. Bellardo with the stretch pass. Here's Windross in 2-on-1. Centering to Ross. She scores! Alicia Ross goes glove side. 3-3 is your score. I told you to strap yourselves in, tighten up those seat belts as we're off to the races. 6 goals in total in this game, combining with the 17 the last 2 times these teams played. 3:58 the time of the Ross goal. We're back to square one. Karunikar plays it high off the Dashers. Both teams joust for it in front of the McKenree bench. Lurig is back, being chased by Emily Toole. Struther came over to help. Deflected puck. Struther off the backside of the cage. It popped back out in front. Karunikar with a slap shot, and that's going to lead to a 2-on-1 the other way. In comes Barnden to the far side. Jeffers denied by Dell, and she will cover the loose puck with 15:28 to go in the period. Back and forth action. Shots were 9-5 after 1 period of play. We're not even 5 minutes in, and it's 15-8. Off the face-off, DeFoss had it knocked away, and now a potential odd-man rush. Here comes Beckett from the right circle. Shot save. Jillings was there, but the puck was not. It didn't quite connect on the rebound opportunity. Barron with a nice pass as it's swatted through the middle. Hansen will come in with the forecheck being put on by Painter. Near side, it bounces away from Jillings. Hassenfratz comes in. Ballard in behind her own goal. On the far corner, up through the middle, Jillings. Right wing for Beckett, and it hit a seam in the boards. Ballard looking around. She lost her stick, saying it was slashed. Referee disagrees. Hassenfratz reverses over to the far wing, skates up on her offside. Right-handed Hassenfratz slides back through the middle, shoots on the reverse play, as she tried to cut it back across the grain. And now, as Doc Emmerich used to say, fire wagon hockey, coming in on speed was Bjornsson, but the puck just wouldn't settle down on the tape. Brennan tried to pass to herself, but had her legs taken out as Brown did the John Casey slide. Gold star to you if you know who that is. Gerwitz with the rip pass off the near boards. Braun couldn't quite find it as there was a stick down. That was the one that, actually I don't know who that one belongs to, as there was been several sticks dropped here in the last couple minutes. Splinter is back. Far side looking for Brown. Up the wall, but the Saints collect. Deflected shot goes out of play. 13:34 left to go here in the second period of a 3-3 game. Both teams completing a line change. Hard off the wall on the far side. Cambeats comes up through the middle. Skinner goes skate to stick, trying to get a wrister on. Dell just barely got a skate to that one. Dell is a little bit uncomfortable here this evening. She's made some good, solid saves, but perhaps still getting used to the sight lines here at the Maryville University Hockey Center. And I know a lot of fans don't necessarily know what that means, but as a goaltender, you try to kind of base your positioning on your surroundings. So you kind of eye up certain areas on the rink, even sometimes up in the stands, and it's just like you get a feeling. I'm looking at this, I'm positioned this way, I know where I am on the crease. Bouncing puck comes out in front. Goaltender kicked her legs out from underneath herself. Unsure why Stercinich did that, because that really put her out of position if the Maryville Saints could have found the puck, but Bearcats do get it out. In comes Beckett. Boxes out her opponent. Centering feed, and it just went through the wickets of Beckett. She finds it off the near wall. Gallops on around to the far hash marks. It's tapped out. Barnden will get there first, trying to get it away, but Putnam is back. Bearcats push it into the offensive zone. Exit feed for Gillings. Uhrig got a piece of it to slow it up. 8 minutes played here in the second period. Tupfer will slow it up behind her own goal. Outlet feed intercepted by Putnam. Fluttering puck, the Saints collect. Villard looking for a teammate on the far side. That was Ross. Ross has the goal that tied things up. Hansen walks the line, backhands it towards the corner. Windross saw it just sneak underneath her stick. Smolinski overskates. Puck back at the red line. Saints come in on the forecheck, but the Bearcats get around it. Barron chips it in and goes for a change. Gerwitz almost gave it away. Smolinski with an ill-timed pass. Saints get away with it. Puck bounding back and forth. Haley sends it up to the blue line. Smolinski backs herself into position. Ross couldn't get a piece of it. Gorgevska sharp chucks it over to the far wing. Bearcats lob it on to center. Gerwitz knocks it down. Haley with it at her own blue line. Transition play coming up here for the Bearcats as Dell sticked it into the far corner. Stretch pass just out of the reach of Toole. No icing as she'll get to it first, though. Dell carries on around the far wing, looking for space, puts it back towards the mixer. Both teams trying to get position. Neither one come up with the puck cleanly. Spun around here to the near wall, and the Bearcats will clear it with nice touch, as there will be no icing. Gerwitz off the window. Struther to the blue line. Gerwitz back in her own zone, but Hassenfratz cut it off. She tries to drive towards the goal. Smolinski dealt with it. Shot blocked as it came through the middle. Toole kicks at it. Not there for Struther. Centering feed, and Cambeats was tied up nicely by Gerwitz. Toole is taken to the wall. O'Leary comes over to throw the check, and unfortunately for her, she will spend the next 2 minutes, perhaps less, in the box. Saints touch it up, and they are going to put the Bearcats back on the power play. McKenree 1 for 3. The Saints playing with fire. For 2 minutes for body checking on Colleen O'Leary. Saints started the game without Sutton and Morris. Bearcats now without the services of their captain, Lacqua, as she has not returned. No official word, but didn't see her come out after the intermission, so you have to figure that her evening is most likely done. Up the far side wall, Barron throws the two-hand axe chop down on the stick. Bearcats come right back in. Barnden gets around Putnam. Barnden still on the puck. Calling for it was Shoemaker. Shoemaker gets it. Barnden far circle. Down low to DeFoss. Centering feed. Oh, and it just wouldn't settle for Jeffers. Otherwise, she had a gaping net to shoot at. Stepping up, looking to get it. Barnden took it right back into traffic. Saints haven't cleared yet. Ross coming up to pressure. Jeffers near side. Has a shooting lane, didn't take it. Jeffers from in tight, down low. Trying to go tic-tac-toe. The Saints got a piece of it. It's off the window, stays in the zone. 44 seconds left on the power play. Jeffers steps up to the dot, takes a shot. Dell kicks it out. Barnden with a slapper. That's off the bottom of the glove of Dell. Jeffers to Shoemaker. Another shot stopped by Dell. Ross tried to glove it down. Couldn't clear it again. Shoemaker to the far circle. Barnden, tight angle chance. Score! It snuck through, and a power play goal has given McKenree another lead. One too many opportunities. The Saints just absolutely could not clear it out, and it was finished off by Jana Barnden. .12:06, the time of the goal. McKenree is back on top, this time by a score of 4-3. Saints have found the answer so far in this game, but how many times can you go back to that well? Gerwitz steps into a shot, but that's blocked. Swatting at the puck. Bearcats still get it out. Delayed offsides, quickly touched up. Cloutier sends it hard off the boards. Too strong for Splinter. Kambeats leaves it. Brown is on it. Up through the middle. Saints get it. Here comes Smolinski in onside. Smolinski to the slot. Shoots just wide of the blocker side. Brown will catch up to it as there's a collision in behind the net. All players okay. Splinter didn't get it. Smolinski sends it back, and it was put into the zone by Struther. 7 minutes left in the second period. Potential icing, waved off at the last moment. Villard leaves it. Gerwitz has it. 6:45 to go in the second. Stretch pass from Gerwitz finds Gillings on the right. She comes in and skates up to her offside. Her offside, not a team offside, just for clarification there. Off the wall, it comes to Karunakar. A weak shot came through, and Tupfer made a stop. She's a defender. Put off the wall. Good step up by Falardo. Pushed back towards the corner, but out of the reach of Villard. Bearcats can't send it up the wall. Both players pirouetting around. That was Tupfer and Beckett. Looked like an ice skating team, the way they were in sync. Gorgevska Sharp was loose. If they could have found her on the pass, Maryville was able to just get in front of that. 5:55 to go in the period. Saints intercept the clearing feed. Here's Brooklyn Gillings, and the stick across the waist was enough to take her off the puck. Karunakar steps up from the outside hash marks. Stick handles her way in and then scoots it over the goal. Putnam slashes one towards goal, and Stersinik will cover it up with 5:36 to go in the period. Hansen pinches up from the point, trying to get it through. Ross was About 5 feet away from the goal line. Here's Ross. He puts it into the middle, and then the shot from Brennan went wide. May have deflected off the stick of Haley. Saints keep it in, but not under good possession. Second opportunity. Hansen keeps it in again. DeFoss peels back. Ross is right there. Ross trying to get body position. Saints trying a piecemeal line change. Out comes Struther. She's there to poke it loose. Windross had her pocket picked. Putnam will hold the zone. Putnam pushes it back below the goal line. Windross looking for Struther. Out of her reach, but there is O'Leary. Centering feed went off the backside of the goal. Bearcats tired. Bouncing puck held in by Struther. Swats it over the far wing. Windross flicks it down low. 4:25 to go in the period. Barron took the puck right into the body of O'Leary. Maryville players spinning around. Smolinski set it up towards the high blocker side. Centering feed goes off the top of the goal. Smolinski gloves it down. Still onside. Saints buzzing here on the offensive end. Barron grabs Smolinski's stick. Toole finds Gerwich. She steps up into a shooting position. Puts it across the crease. Smolinski chops it down low. O'Leary couldn't find the handle, but here's Villard. Villard skates it into traffic. Shoemaker flips it in behind. Bearcats desperate for a line change here. They've been hemmed in by this Maryville attack. And they will wisely just hand it back to their goaltender as Haley was gasping for air. So McKenree will get the line change they desperately needed with 3:30 to go in the second period, and the Bearcats up by 1. Saints win the faceoff. Beckett to Gerwitz. The shot. Oh, the rebound was there, but they couldn't get to it. It was right there, and Villard was like, please let me reach it, but just achingly out of a reach. And here comes Villard on the left wing from the circle. Takes the shot, and it was off a skate. Brown got a block on it. Back to the point for Smolinski. Walks the line. Fluttering puck on the way through. Beckett is knocked down as she tried to get a deflection on. Cloutier has the puck for the Bearcats. Lofted over here to the near side. Smolinski will get there first. Villard with the loose puck. Far circle. They find Beckett. The puck won't settle down for her. Gerwitz steps up to chop it down low. Beckett trying to get up as she was knocked down. Bearcats will clear. Barnden's going to try to chase it down, but Gerwitz had the step. 2:38 to go. Stretch pass. Trying to find Haley Beckett. And coming over to deal with it was Urig. Cross corner dump right into the glove of Beckett instead. Or excuse me, now they spring it. Here comes Ross. She'll take the shot, and Tupfer came over to deny that opportunity. It was Gerwitz that knocked it down. Sprung the long pass for Ross. Unfortunately, the Saints could not get a shot off on that opportunity. They're getting chances. They were on 9 shots for the longest time. Now they've got 13 on the game. Still only trail by 1, but the next goal is paramount. McKenree gets it. You feel like this one, it won't be out of reach, but it's going to be very difficult. If Maryville can get the next one, then they are back in business. Nice move to get around the pressure as Splitter skates it up and gives it over to Imperato. She fights her way through traffic and forces a right pad save. Imperato to Splinter, centering for Cambeats, didn't get through. Karunikar reverses away. Finds it on the right side, puts it into the skates, and Ross has no choice but to scoop it into the zone. She will quickly stop by the bench on a line change. Saints put out the O'Leary line. Struther has the puck. Saw the pressure coming on her offside. Here comes the Saints. Nice move by Colleen O'Leary, and the shield's denied by the glove. Puck is still loose. O'Leary leaves it for Struther. She's trying to put it into the mixer. O'Leary with a backhand chance. That did not get through. Too many legs. Hassenfratz takes it back behind her own goal. Filters it here to the near side for Binning. High shot over the blocker's shoulder of Kelsey Dell. Less than a minute to go here in the second period. A lot of goals have been scored. Here's Ailey Beckett in a foot race. She's going to get there first. Can she get an angle towards goal? She cannot. Still has the puck, though, in the high slot. She's going to take the shot and puts it high. Villard plays it off the wall. Putnam to the far circle. Beckett settles it down. Hansen couldn't get a shot off. Now it's Hassenfratz one-on-one with the defender. Pass was denied. Dell will cover it up with 22.3 seconds left. Saints did a great job of setting that up D to D. Unfortunately, the puck just kind of rolled a little bit on Mika Hansen, and she couldn't get the shot away. Now the Saints need a face-off win in their defensive zone. A little over 20 seconds remaining. Gerwitz does have the puck now, but she was nicely bothered. Coming over to get a piece of the puck. We're the Bearcats. Saints lift it out. Blue line to blue line. Brown will carry it in behind her own goal. McKenree content just to see this period out as they've got a one-goal lead. Given away. Here's Gerwitz. Fluttering puck. Couldn't get a strong shot. 40 minutes are in the books. 20 minutes left in regulation. Perhaps some extra hockey after that if the Saints can tie this one up in the third period. Right now it's 4-3 in favor of McKenree. We'll be back with your third period of action. Keep it right here on the Maryville Saints Hockey Network.
There comes a time where it's going to get harder, more difficult, but to never lose that focus of enjoying the game is so important. Leon Dreisaitl from Cologne, Germany, Edmonton Oilers. For me, it started early. My dad played, so it ran in the family a little bit, and always wanted to play in the NHL. I'm an offensive guy that likes to generate and create chances and take big pride in the defensive side of things as well. I've got nothing but great things to say about Warrior, and a huge fan of the consistency year after year. For me personally, bring out the best product, and it's so simple and easy to work with Warrior. And on top of that, the service is incredible. Always things to learn, always things to grow, always the parts of the game to get better at, but all in all, you have to be a Warrior.
College hockey. It's more than just what school you play for. More than just another sweater you pull on. It's about focus, determination, strategy, and poise. It's more than just packed rinks and screaming fans. It's about heart, skill, and passion. In nearly 30 years of the ACHA, we don't just play the game of hockey. We are the game of hockey. Hundreds of elite players and coaches from some of the United States and Canada's most prestigious programs. The American Collegiate Hockey Association. More than just a game.
Hello everyone, I hope you've had a great summer. As the school year gets started across the country, we're excited to also welcome you back to another great season of hockey. Thanks for being a part of the USA Hockey family. I want you to know that our volunteers and our staff work every single day as hard as they can to make sure hockey is the best sports experience in every community in our country. Within USA Hockey, you're part of an organization that's a world leader in development, safety, fun, and success, and one that is committed to fostering a welcoming environment for all by building a diverse, equitable, and inclusive game. Hockey is played in thousands of communities across our entire country. Please join me in keeping the momentum going by inviting at least one new person to get involved with hockey this year. It doesn't matter if it's someone who wants to play, coach, officiate, volunteer, or just be a fan. We're excited about sharing the joy our sport brings with as many people as possible. I would also like to offer a friendly reminder to make sure that respect is top of mind every time you enter the rink or take to the ice for a game or practice this season. That includes making sure that we never use hateful or discriminatory language, as it has absolutely no place in our game or in our society. It's on all of us to make sure that we respect the game, including playing within the rules, treating officials with respect, giving our best, and being a good teammate. In the end, hockey is about fun, so let's make sure we never lose sight of that. Here's to a great season ahead, one filled with friendship, respect, success, and most of all, plenty of smiles.
Welcome to Maryville University,
Welcome to Saints Nation.
home of the Big Red M.
So what does it mean to be a Maryville Saint?
It's more than just going to classes.
As Saints, we are passionate about what we believe in.
We are open-minded and curious about other points of view.
And we know this about life at Maryville.
Your best experiences will happen when you get involved.
Make sure to get involved on campus.
We work hard.
But we have a lot of fun too.
We have a passion to see each other succeed.
You might have a few hiccups along the way, or maybe something more serious. When we run into adversity,
We have faculty and staff here to provide support.
We stand with our fellow Saints through the good times.
And the difficult times.
So be sure to seek out help when you need it.
we know that here at Maryville,
We are never alone.
The spirit of Maryville flows through each person that steps foot on our campus.
Being a Saint is that feeling that Maryville University is your community.
That even when you're far away from home,
You are home.
We're on this journey together.
we are Maryville University.
One team, one family.
It's time for the Maryville Saints Intermission Report. Let's get ready for the third period.
There comes a time where it's going to get harder and more difficult, but to never lose that focus of enjoying the game is so important. Leon Draisaitl from Cologne, Germany, Edmonton Oilers. For me, it started early. My dad played, so it ran in the family a little bit, and always wanted to play in the NHL. I'm an offensive guy that likes to generate and create chances and take big pride in the defensive side of things as well. I've got nothing but great things to say about Warrior, and a huge fan of the consistency. Year after year, for me personally, bring out the best product, and it's so simple and easy to work with Warrior. And on top of that, the service is incredible. Always things to learn, always things to grow, always the parts of the game to get better at, but all in all, you have to be a Warrior.
College hockey. It's more than just what school you play for. More than just another sweater you pull on. It's about focus, determination, strategy, and poise. It's more than just packed rinks and screaming fans. It's about heart, skill, and passion. In nearly 30 years of the ACHA, we don't just play the game of hockey. We are the game of hockey. Hundreds of elite players and coaches from some of the United States and Canada's most prestigious programs. The American Collegiate Hockey Association. More than just a game.
Hello everyone, I hope you've had a great summer. As the school year gets started across the country, we're excited to also welcome you back to another great season of hockey. Thanks for being a part of the USA Hockey family. I want you to know that our volunteers and our staff work every single day as hard as they can to make sure hockey is the best sports experience in every community in our country. Within USA Hockey, you're part of an organization that's a world leader in development, safety, fun, and success, and one that is committed to fostering a welcoming environment for all by building a diverse, equitable, and inclusive game. Hockey is played in thousands of communities across our entire country. Please join me in keeping the momentum going by inviting at least one new person to get involved with hockey this year. It doesn't matter if it's someone who wants to play, coach, officiate, volunteer, or just be a fan. We're excited about sharing the joy our sport brings with as many people as possible. I would also like to offer a friendly reminder to make sure that respect is top of mind every time.
Back for the third period here at the Maryville University Hockey Center. Todd Panula with you here this evening. Hopefully you're enjoying no matter where you're watching from. Bearcats have a one-goal lead after 40 minutes of play. They have outshot Maryville 20-14. Outshot them in the second period 11-9. But the power play has been the big story, as McKenree has 2 power play goals. And if not for those, the score could easily be 3-2 in favor of Maryville, but that is not the case. High sticking could have been called on one of Tommy Lang's boys as they almost took out one of the former players here in attendance and then almost hit them with a puck as well. I don't think that's a real puck. Otherwise, I mean, if that's... I'm trying to get a good look at that. No, that's a roll of tape. Back to the action. I'm sitting here watching what the coach's sons are doing. Bearcats come up to the blue line, 1-on-3, almost gaining position. Dell is going to cover it up. 52 seconds into the third period. Maryville playing catch-up. They're down by a goal. Saints have goals from Beckett, Villard, and Ross. McKenree has 2 from Gorgievska-Sharp. Barron and Barnden with the other ones, both on the power play. Almost a one-timer there as Barnden didn't miss by much. From a tough angle, Essex puts it off the side of the goal, and Dell may have got a piece of that as well. Barnden spins it for Essex. Filtered all the way to the far side. Cloutier stepped into it. Windross lifted her stick. Saints trying to come out on the counterattack, and that's thwarted. Here's Brown. From the red line to the blue with the pass. Essex taps it in. Painter drops it. Regains, and then feeds it into the skates of Struther. Struther scooped it over towards the far wing. Bearcats content just to take some time off the clock. Struther ran into Brown. That took her off her skates. Saints trying to make the steal. They were looking in front for Struther, and that was intercepted. Barron skates over to the near wing and then lifts it around the corner boards. Putnam is there, taps it off the wall. O'Leary gets the pass from Toole. O'Leary taking it in and lost it over the blue line. Hansen tries to go on the cross corner dump in. Saints going for a line change. Barron sweeps it up to the official semicircle. Putnam sends it into the near corner. Ricochets around. Gillings couldn't get there. Tupfer plays it off the wall. Beckett says, I'll take that. Tupfer with a second opportunity, tries the near side. Villard steps up. Cambeat's got there first. Uhrig with the puck for the Bearcats below the goal line. McKenree just flings it up through the middle. Could be icing, and it will be. 16:57 left on the clock here in the third period. Every chance into the offensive zone becomes key now for the Saints, down by 1. You don't necessarily need the tying goal to come early, but the earlier you can get it, if you can get it, the better off you are for a potential push at the end of the game for a potential game winner as opposed to trying to tie it up late. Here's a good steal from Beckett. She shoots, and it's blocked. Second chance. Shot was knocked down. Scramble in front, and it's covered by Stersinik. Saints with pressure. But credit to the Bearcats, they have limited the number of second chance opportunities for the Saints here. Hurwitz got a piece of it, but just not enough to keep it in the zone. Struther comes right back in. Bjornsson tags up on a delayed offsides. Slowing it up behind the net is Ashley Haley, and the Bearcats look to get out. Up towards the red line, but the captain for the Saints is there. DeFoss skating around her own blue line. Backhands it up to center ice and no further again. DeFoss once more. Gorgievska-Sharp goes off the heel of her skate and takes it in on the attack. Swats it over into the far corner. Smolinski took it right into the pressure of Hasenfratz. Braun taps it up the wall. Struther is there, bodies the puck forward. Here's Bjornsson. Had her stick lifted, but still in possession. Bjornsson trying to get towards the net. She's hauled down, no penalty. Gerwitz is upset. Back the other way, the Bearcats come towards the attacking zone, and it's backhanded in by Painter. Karunakar got it up towards the line. Windross gets it from Ross. Windross to the forehand. Cross ice feed. Falardo will take the wrister. That's off a stick and high. Brown presses it up the ice, and then it's lofted up. No icing, as they say. Karunakar made an attempt to play the puck. On the back check, Barnden gets it away. Windross on the forecheck. Rink-wide feed, Karunakar with the intercept. Got it to the blue line, and then either a defensive stick or the linesman got in the way. Karunakar with a second opportunity. Little soup pass, looking for Ross. Instead, it's Tupfer inside of her own zone. Jeffers knocked it down. Essex flips it in. Falardo from behind her own goal. Falardo plays it off the end wall. Karunakar struggles to find the handle. Off the near boards. Beckett is tripped up, goes face first to the ice. She's going to head off on a change. That's definitely not something that Maryville needs. They've already lost 2 of the 3 players from their top line, and there's almost a giveaway from the Maryville Saints on the backside. Beckett not being seen to by the trainers, but she's favoring that left wrist. She's not currently on this current makeup of the top line. O'Leary has taken her place with Ballard and Gillings. Here's a wrister. Dell makes the shot. The rebound was juicy. Bearcats can't collect. And then they play one off the side of the goal. Karunakar will take it. Saints are going to go to the power play as soon as they turn it over. There was a turn. Oh, and now it's going to be evened up as the Saints take a retaliation penalty. That was rather foolish by Maryville. They were about to be up by a player, and instead it's going to be 4-on-4. Understandable that you want to step up for your teammate, but you have to understand the situation. And retaliation here along the near boards will even things up. Now, Maryville has been pretty good all season when they've had that little bit of extra ice. So we'll see how this plays out. Putnam in the box for the Saints. Alexandra Binning in the sin bin for the Bearcats. Smolinski tried to shuffle it up to the blue line, couldn't get it past Splinter. Splinter drags it around the goal. Poke check, knocked it away. Saints trying to come out with speed. Here's Brennan. Voice is starting to go for me. Goaltender stick handling around, gives it away. Here's Smolinski trying to catch Stersinik out and cannot do so. Solid defending by the Bearcats, thwarting that opportunity for Maryville. Saints trying to be careful as Ross had it. Smolinski is still down on the ice as she's being sat on by Cloutier. High off the glass, barely stays in. Cambeats takes it out from under the skates of the official. Cambeats goes far circle, and instead Gerwitz got a poke check on it. 1:11 left in the 4-on-4. Stretching it out, right wing. Here comes Barron. Barron slows it up to Shoemaker. Centering feed, Barron trying to go stick side, and it slipped away. Counterattack is on for the Saints. O'Leary was looking far side for Gillings. Could not find the pass. O'Leary gets the puck again. Karunakar is in offside. Still have not seen the return of Kelsey Beckett. As I say that, she's about to step out on the ice. Still kind of shaking her hands around, although this time it was the right hand. Before it was the left wrist. And she gives a little bit of a tap to Barnden. Kurnikar and Villard get crossed up, but the Saints still get it into the zone. Villard trying to chase it down. Uhrig is there. Reverses. Kurnikar had it poked loose. Beckett will get it back at center ice. 22 seconds left until we're back to 5-on-5. Uhrig gets there for the Bearcats. Beckett shoves her off the puck. Intercepted by Villard on the left hash mark. Drops it off to the point. Falardo couldn't get a shot away. Falardo with a second chance. Sweeps it here to the near circle. Beckett tried to center to Kurnikar. Both teams with their full complement of players out on the ice now. Saints still down by a goal. 4-3 is your score. 11:35 left to go here in the third period. Lofted puck way down the ice. And it will be icing. Clock stops with 11:29 left to go in regulation. Saints only with 2 shots on goal here in the third period. The same amount of shots getting through for the Bearcats. Both teams playing a little bit more cautious here. Face-off win for the Saints. Gerwitz looks for the deflection on the way through. It's loose to the far post after the shot from Windros got through. Stersinik may have got a piece of it. Strother was trying to knock it down in front. That's actually Brennan. Brennan and Windros tying things up along the end wall, along with 2 defenders for the Bearcats. Both of them looking like they're doing pregame stretches. Just trying to keep the puck loose. Here's Ross trying to get it to the stick, and it just wouldn't get off of her toe. Uhrig got it over the red line and pushes it in. Smolinski cuts back here towards the near wing. Stick handles around one, past another. Far side it comes in for Windros. She has to slow it up as Cloutier was there. Ross in behind the net. She had Strother cutting through the middle. Cloutier finds it for the Bearcats. Looking to skate up ice. Good poke check. Smolinski. As the puck pinballed around, Gorgievska Sharp comes in. She's bodied by Emily Toole. Gerwitz swats it back out. Splinter wasn't quite sure that her teammate was off the ice, so she had to wait to play that puck. Gerwitz finds it at the red line. Saints back at the blue line. 9:52 left to go in the third. Time becoming the enemy for the Saints. They're only down by 1. O'Leary couldn't get past. Flipped high off the wall as the Bearcats get it out to center. Good clearance by Cloutier. Splinter and Cam Beats thwart that pass through the middle. DeFoss to Haley. And that door for McKenree has been open a lot with the puck pretty close to it. Putnam slides it up the wall. Gillings pops it up. Bearcats have it. Spinning from the corners, Barnden. Nice moves. Putnam intercepts in the corner. Barnden takes it right back, plays it to the point. Down low, wide open, score! Backhand, forehand goal. 5-3 is your score. The Bearcats are up 5-3, and the goal from Claire Essex. The 11:13, the time of the goal. Essex is your goal scorer. Dell not overly happy with her performance here this evening. She's allowed 5 goals on 23 shots, but that's the mentality of a goaltender. Doesn't matter how high quality the chances might be against you. You always figure you could have stopped at least 1 or 2 of those in your own head, whether that's the case or not. Here's Binning. Brings it in on Falardo. She makes the poke check. Toole tried to fire it up ice. She had Ross cherry picking. In towards the crease. Dell will cover it up. Saints trail by 2. They've only got 18 shots on goal. Last time these two teams played here in Chesterfield, there was a total of 64 shots on goal. Don't think we're going to come close to that. But Maryville has to find a way to get more pucks through. But they've also got to get some possession. They've got Ross springing on a breakaway, and it's denied. Great defensive stick from Shoemaker. She fires a hard pass to Painter on the near side. Return feed was disrupted as Windross got a piece. Gerwitz holds the line. Can't find anybody through the middle. Bouncing puck swatted up towards the blue line. Gerwitz flings one towards goal. Ross was there for a deflection, but it never came. Ross comes loose. Tried to fire it to Smolinski. That was intercepted. And the Bearcats will ice it. No, it does not go far enough. They wave it off. Now the Saints have given it away. Hassenfratz stick handles around one. Shot Dell makes the save. Rebound chance. And the referee blew it dead even though the puck was still loose. 7:21 to go in the period. 5-3 the score. In 3 games between these two teams, there have now been 26 goals. Saints can't get out of their own way as Karunikar hit the skates of Falardo, and then it eventually goes out of play right into the Maryville bench. Saints win the face-off. Puck comes around here to the near side. Karunikar lofts it up towards the blue line, knocked down by Essex. Falardo with a chance. Stick handles around the pressure. Karunikar with it. Up through the middle and through the wickets of Gillings. Icing is the call. Maryville trying to find some sort of answer here. They haven't had a whole lot of offense in this game, especially here in this third period. Now, I say that, and they've got 3 goals on the board. But just as an overall feeling, it's been kind of disjointed. They'll have a wave or 2 here and there, but then there's been a lot of defending. And you have to give a lot of credit to the Bearcats. They've played a slow and steady game, and I don't mean that in terms of the speed that they've had, but it's just been a little bit more methodical. They haven't necessarily relied on a whole bunch of transition plays and rush plays. It's just been a very steady game from them. Exactly what they would have wanted, and they've taken advantage of the opportunities that have been given to them as we get another whistle here with 6:26 to go. And offside was the call. Saints win the face-off. Smolinski fires it up the right wing. Nobody there. Potential icing the other way. Gerwitz gets there. Clock stops with 6:15 to go. Puck loose along the far side of the goal. Saints couldn't get a shot away, though. 6:06 left now. Save made by Stersinik on the shot from the left wing. Gillings flicks one here to the near side. Beckett goes back to the far side. Taps it around two defenders. Beckett trying to be a one-woman show again. He tried to stuff it from a short angle chance. Saints getting good pressure. They get it out front. Stersinik with a big save as Gillings is denied on the doorstep. Saints' top line was threading some quality passes. They just couldn't get it back across the green the way they would have wanted. Still got a great opportunity from the middle at the top of the crease. But Gillings just didn't have enough space to get it up and over the goaltender. Struther ties it up along the half wall. Bjornsson lifts a stick. Got a glove up in the mush. Saints trying to drag it out. Here's Struther. Back to Bjornsson. Her shot was knocked down. Bjornsson comes over, ties things up. You could tell she wanted to throw that hit and had to tell herself to not do it, because the Saints can't afford to take any more penalties in this one. Hansen struggles, gives it away. And they will just chop it down low as the Bearcats are going to go for a change. But here's a turnover. Tupfer will flop it in behind the goal. Didn't have a good shooting lane. Falardo didn't know traffic was coming and played it right back to the Bearcats. Long shot, knocked down a couple times, and it flutters through the top of the crease. Tupfer couldn't hold his own. Cam Beats is back at her own blue line, though. Collision at the Saints line between Tupfer and Struther. They're both back up. Lurig comes up the far wing. Fires it in. Hansen was looking for Ross. Too many gray jerseys in between. Cloutier holds it in. Falardo collects in the corner. Windross is tied up. 4:05 to go. Saints come out. Falardo was tied up. Saints get it, but it was both poke-checked away from Windross, and they were offside as well. Deflected puck almost settled down for Ross, but that wasn't even an almost close enough for horseshoes. Hand grenades, maybe. Far side, chopped up the boards. Saints recollect at center ice. Gerwitz tried to fire it through the middle. Essex knocked it down. Gerwitz again. Windross to Brennan, out of her reach. Gerwitz fires it in. 3:12 to go in the third period. Off a skate. Villard running a little bit of interference on Jeffers, just enough to keep the arm of the official down. Back to center. Gerwitz steps up. Villard flips it on around. 2:50 to go. Gillings on the forecheck, but the Bearcats get around. Gillings coming back to get a piece of the puck. Beckett got it over to Karunakar. It comes loose. Smolinski. Fans on the shot. 2:30 to go. Time continuing to tick away. Villard steps up from the blue line. Bearcats get it out into the neutral zone. And that's been the way that it's gone all game long for Maryville. They've just kind of telegraphed things a little bit too much. Taking nothing away from the way the Bearcats have defended. They've always had that stick right in the lane. Shoemaker comes in through the slot. Nobody home. Saints on the counterattack, coming with speed. Toole with Beckett in control. Beckett fires it through, and it went wide of the blocker side, off the end wall, and then to the back of the net. Wrong side of the back of the net from the Maryville perspective. Falardo from behind her own goal. cheekily out in front. Tapped out by Gerwitz. O'Leary flops it in. 95 seconds remain. Saints desperately need one here just so they can have a chance in the final minute. Loose along the glove side of the goaltender. Now in behind the net. Toole tried to fire it back towards the point. Bearcats get it up the line. Falardo swats it into the near side corner. 1:15 to go. Gerwitz knocks it up for Brennan. No whistle came. I guess Maryville never touched that puck because otherwise it should have been a hand pass. Dell stays in the crease for now. Final minute of play. Saints down by 2, and you have to figure that even though fans don't like it, I don't like it. Saints are going to be forced to play the rankings game and keep their goaltender in there. Villard streaks into the zone. She lost the puck. Bearcats have it. Potential breakaway opportunity, and that's denied by Gerwitz. Bearcats come in just a step onside. Barnden was looking for a slashing call. Referee says not in the final minute of play. Stretch pass for Beckett. Beckett going to take the shot, and it went through but wide. 12 seconds left, so the Bearcats are going to win this one. They will improve to 14-7-1. All the games between these two teams have been high-scoring affairs. Unfortunately for the Saints, all 3 games between these two teams thus far have gone the way of the Bearcats. Final shot totals, 25 for the Bearcats. That only gives them 5 here in the third period. But they get the one that they needed the most. 6 shots on goal here in the third for Maryville. That gives them a total of 20 for the game. Just not enough hit the back of the net for Maryville as they fall by a final score of 5-3. So these two teams will play again tomorrow afternoon, but they will be across the river in the O'Fallon area at the home rink of the McKenree Bearcats. Saints fall to 14-8 on the season, and they have now allowed, math is hard sometimes, they've now allowed 47 goals on the year. So still an overall good defensive year thus far for the Maryville Saints, but this one's going to be a tough pill to swallow as they lose another one to their crosstown rivals. They'll try to push the reset button and at least get a win and split this 2-game series perhaps tomorrow afternoon. For everybody here at the Maryville Saints Hockey Network, we thank you for watching. Eric Skelton has been making us look good behind the scenes. I've been Todd Panula. Until the next time when the Saints take on Liberty on February 6th, that will be our next broadcast. Until then, have a great day, Saints fans.